Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to the third match of the grand finals of the first winter qualifier here. VGL North America Alliance versus GankStars Sirius. Now Alliance again, Team A. And yeah, they are basically with their backs against the wall. So it is all up to this match. Can they win against GankStars Sirius? It will decide at least a little bit in the draft. Where we come into this, looking at the bans, we have Alliance here with the Vox ban coming up, and GankStars, they are going for the Arden ban, which opens the first pick, which is a Sky to Alliance. That is the opener of this draft and ban session. So Rome, having no Vox, having no Arden, and Alliance picking up the Sky, can this change? Or can this help Alliance to win against this super strong GankStars Sirius team here?
This definitely does help them out a lot. We noticed in the first and second match that GankStars Sirius did focus the ban and pick phase around the Sky, making sure that Niche doesn't get a hold of her. And because they have Sky now, I do have a feeling that it makes their whole overall team composition just pretty much like ripple down. I Love Joseph is able to secure himself somebody like a Glaive or a Koshka again. That would be awesome for this team. And I think that this is the kind of composition that suits them better, and it gives them a lot more easier in the terms of like a transition period through that early to mid game where they can definitely shine through with the Sky's abilities in that late game.
All right, Catherine and Blackfeather is what we are going to see here. On the side from GankStars Sirius, Kaldemik just playing overwhelmingly strong with that Blackfeather forecourt Jester. Do you think with this draft it is the potential first place here for GankStars Sirius?
The way that they've been playing, the way that they've been able to they take early advantage, they take late advantage, any of these fights, they've been in control 100%. The way that these guys are playing right now, it is looking very close to a 3-0. Very little doubt in my mind. You have to really get like the best draft you can, and you got to get some kind of aggression from Alliance. Yeah, game number 1, not exactly a lot of kills. Game 2, much better. But, I mean, if you can't escalate past that, I think GankStars has this.
Alright, so FlashX calling out the final roster pick for Alliance, which is Castrol together with Sky, and as Aroma we will see Finn on the fold. I don't know if this can change anything. We're waiting for the last pick from GankStars Sirius, which is a Jewel. So first time today we see Jewel not only in North America but also in Europe, not seen today in the final match day here in the semifinals, in the third place match and finals. So we're looking at Alliance playing Sky, Castrol and Finn, and GankStars Sirius going for Jewel, Blackfeather and Catherine. Tasty Bacon, what would you expect or what do you wish here to come in this third match?
I mean, obviously, with now GankStars having the Jewel, Blackfeather, Catherine, they're going to be looking to just have a ton of burst. They know that there's going to be a lot of mobility from the Sky and from the Kestrel, but the Finn is really going to be the thing that I think we have to watch out for. Obviously, if Finn gets a forced accord pulling everyone in, Cole and Iraqi, they're going to be perfectly fine with that because they're already melee heroes. So it's going to be a really interesting one here, and I'm going to have to agree with Forecourt that with the way GankStars has been playing, I think this is going to be their series to take 3-0.
Alright, the last thoughts before Rome is going to throw it to the casters. Of course, our analyst Rome looking at the draft. Any last thoughts?
Looking at the drafts right now, I think that GankStars Sirius is going to have an advantage in the jungle. Be sure to watch out for how they do jump on this Kestrel. And towards the late game, look towards Finn and how he uses that forced accord to get all the melee heroes from the GankStars Sirius team towards this Sky, who's, if she's farmed out really well, she can obliterate them. But otherwise from that, the scaling coming out of this Blackfeather late game is going to make a difference. But we'll throw it to the casters, and awesome third game match that we'll have right here.
All right, thank you very much, Rome, as we are underway for game number 3. Alliance on the blue side, GankStars on the red, and GankStars looking for aggressive moves already early on. This is more like the GankStars that we know, but they are going to get actually caught here. Meek getting dropped extremely low and taken down at level 1. I Love Joseph going to be grabbing that kill, and they, a really good job from Alliance anticipating. They know that GankStars like to make that move early, so they just waited in that brush and said, all right, you're going to make this move that you really like going to, and maybe dipping their hand into the cookie jar 1 times too many.
Well, and it was the Jewel as well. Now, the Jewel actually did have the Rocket Leap available, or at least it looked like she did, and didn't actually even bother using it at that point. But it was a really good idea from Alliance. The trap was set, and the bait was there, and, well, it paid off. Early game kill for them. They saw that there was a 3-man. They likely thought it was going to be that rotation. I've heard that Flash X is actually really good at calling out some of these rotations and setting up these counters, and I think that's a great example right there of exactly that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just knowing your opponent, knowing their tendencies, and taking advantage of it. But, obviously one kill in the early game is not going to decide the outcome, as it is only a 500 gold lead or so for Alliance to start things off in the first 2 to 3 minutes. And we do see with that first chop, it looks like we're going to have a double... I thought maybe a double weapon power composition, but Koldemeek also has a crystal bit to go along with his 2 weapon blades. So that one's definitely a bit more interesting than the obvious alternating current.
Secret Agent Cole. That's all it is. It's all it is. He's keeping them guessing all the way to the end. It's funny because a lot of people were predicting that it was going to be a CP Jewel, and then I was like, oh, all right, double weapons. Sure. All right, let's see how this one works. And, well, you never know. There's a lot of time left in this matchup. Flash X going forward. He's looking for some polite company. Doesn't seem to get any for his trouble, and now he's just going to be lumbering on into, probably the jungle at this point. I don't think they can really go for Iraqi. Flash, though, does find Koldemeek there as well. The 3-man collapse not really doing too much here. Iraqi Zoro actually the one that's getting chunked down. Gabe has to use the Storm Guard. He's going to be all right, and you can see that Koldemeek has no interest in the fight at this point. He's just going to go into those backs and look for some counter.
Yeah, he does get the forward healing camp, but he is going to get spotted now as he moves on to the back camps. But it is just Flash X, so not really a ton of threat for now, but it does mean that there is going to be someone else coming shortly, as it does the double camp is taken, but now with Mish here, that's going to be a kill picked up. So not sure how much of that Koldemeek actually got.
He got them both.
He did get them both? Okay, yeah. So it's at least a little worth it.
He literally went up and then came right back down like he's a rocket from Tesla. It was great.
So Alliance with the second kill there, they do still have a slight gold lead going into the 5th minute of the game. They're going to find Iraqi, but not really going to be able to secure that kill. But they have GankStars split here, and this has been happening a couple times now in the early goings of this game. But Gabe, knowing that all 3 members are down by the gold mine, just going to be able to make his way back into the lane. But Alliance, they've done a good job of sort of messing with the GankStars style of play, as that gold mine is getting close to 150 gold stacked in it, so almost twice the amount of time for what GankStars had been doing to take the gold miner at very early on in games 1 and 2.
So Mish playing on this Sky is a rather fantastic pickup here from Alliance. One of the best guys in the world. He's absolutely incredible when it comes to just knowing the ins and outs, the limits, the Suri strikes. It's really going to be absolutely fantastic if he can continue on with this farm. And so far, 2-0 for Alliance. They have held their own. They have this Finn where we're not entirely too sure where it's going to go. But if they can't really keep capitalizing, I fear for them.
Yeah, they are going to be having a big fight here. I Love Joseph will be the first victim, and GankStars get their first kill on the board. Now they're going to follow up onto Mish. Will Iraqi be able to finish this one off? He will with that extra move speed. And then down on the bottom, it's Cull trying to take on FlashX, but FlashX is very tanky already. With the rest of GankStars coming down, will it be enough after that one-shot, one kill comes through? Gabe wants out, and GankStars going to try and take this gold mine. Will FlashX be able to stop it? He will not. And now GankStars turning their attention onto Flash. This has just been going on for so long. They do finally get the very delayed ace, as they aren't actually going to get the ace buff, but they did get those 3 kills and the gold mine. So big trade for GankStars.
So, all right, basically a delayed ace and a gold mine. Really nice stuff coming out from GankStars. And, well, I think I might have spoken a little bit too soon. Mish, give him praise with the sky, and then all of a sudden, like, the team is down in ace. So let's not make that mistake again. You got to wonder, though. I mean, clearly, the whole team here from Alliance, they have subs. They have, 3 subs on their roster. We saw Shin Kaigen playing yesterday. He's around. He can clearly play. He's not going to be the best of choices. But the other subs, I don't think I've actually seen a game with. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is a typical saying that we do see every now and then from teams that are winning. But Alliance, I mean, maybe they needed to look for a sub. Maybe they needed to change up their pace.
Yeah, because whatever they're doing, it just has not been working out thus far. Obviously, this is their primary roster that they are wanted to use for this tournament. But GankStars, they just look so strong right now. It's almost a shame that they're not going to be having Call the Meek after this tournament, because they just look so well put together, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do for finding another jungler to replace Cull. That's going to be very big shoes to fill when the time does come. But for now, focusing on this Game 3, trying to finish off with a clean slate throughout the VGL. They're the only team left, GankStars is, that hasn't lost a single game in the VGL qualifier thus far. So trying to keep that perfect record alive as they do pick up that kill there. 4-2, and Mao going to be looking to make it 5-2. The shield coming out, but the big red button not quite doing enough. And I Love Joseph barely going to be getting out of that one. And now Cole the Meek is going to be the one that barely escapes alive after that one-shot, one kill comes out.
Well, not quite the counter snap that we were looking for, but really good job to I Love Joseph. He was able to just stick right through that one. The silence into the engage from the Black Feather really did put him on the back foot, but by the end of it, and the big red button as well, he dodged him out and he lived right through it. And noticing that there's, low health abounds, Alliance is going to try their best to take out this turret. Unfortunately, they just do not have that power as of yet. Now Flash is just going to be left to defend the flank on this retreat. He is a big guy. He has a lot of health, and you can't stun him up or anything, but man, like, this lane is just not working so far for Alliance.
Yeah, it's not coming out the way that they had hoped going into it with the draft. And Iraqi Zoro on this Black Feather now sitting at 95 CS to the 80 of Mish, building up a 15 CS lead for himself. That's not something you want to see if you are on the side of Alliance. Black Feather being ahead is just usually spells disaster.
Yeah, it hasn't boded well so far in our games. And being up 2-0, I mean, you got some really good adrenaline going. You're feeling good as GankStars Sirius. Even if you lose out this game, you can study the tactics, why that loss, patch it up. This isn't going to be nearly so bad if they lose. Now, of course, if Alliance lose, then it goes 3-0, and GankStars will remain undefeated here in this winter circuit.
Yeah, looking like that may be the case with the lead that GankStars has currently. It's only about 1,500 gold, but it feels like a bit more, as they've just seemingly have had control. It's about to become more, as the gold mine is going to be paying out soon. Both teams trying to put some focus on the lane, as neither side wants to give. The first turret is so important for the way that these two teams play. Whichever team loses that turret first just has to give up so much control of the map just because of that one objective.
2,000 or so behind. Alliance is sort of known for getting behind in the early game and then having just these amazing comebacks. It just hasn't happened up against, this other world-class team right now. GankStars Sirius is really just looking absolutely dominant, absolutely undefeatable. They're moving as a hive mind right now. They're looking up into this lane. Flash is going to be the first one to find him, but could that actually be a kill on top of Mish? Well, you can't stun Flash X. So I think that might have been, the aim might have been to Mish, but a nice scout there from Flash will keep him going, at least for now.
Yeah, no one's really taking much damage yet. Even with these glimmer shots coming through, they aren't really chunking out the health bars like we're used to seeing. And this is actually going to be GankStars going in for this.
Yeah, that was the silence, and as soon as he saw that, the rocket leap there from Cole, but he gets absolutely chunked. He's going to live, but I could not say the same there for Mish once more. Going to be into that death timer, and 3 of the 5 kills have all been on this Alliance laner.
Yeah, that's just a lot of kills going over on to Iraqi, sitting at 3-0-2. Obviously, Cole and Gabe each having a kill to their name as well. 1-0-4 for Gabe Bizzle, the least amount of deaths in the North American VGL. And now they're going to find Flash X trying to steal away those back camps. Will they finally be able to take down this huge tanky jungle river troll? They are going to, and that's just another kill on the board for Iraqi Zoro's Blackfeather.
Now they know exactly where Mish is. They don't really know where Joseph is going to be hanging, but we can see that he's going to be into this lane. 6-2 and 12.5 minutes in. It's going to be an immense gold payout for the gold mine just before that Kraken does come up, and if Alliance can't do anything about it, they're going to be looking at some pretty significant gold deficits on their necks. That's a great block there from Mish, though. Probably the only reason he's going to stay alive out of this. The one shot does hit on top of Cole, brings him down to half, but there's not going to be any kind of follow-up.
Yeah, no answer right now from Alliance for the moves that GankStars are making. There is going to be the early infusion being picked up by Mish to try and make an answer, but looking at the items, you've got a Frostburn and a Broken Myth for Mish, so that should be a pretty sizable power spike coming out. Cold Meek did actually end up going for the Crystal Power build, a Broken Myth and a Frostburn there as well. So, just taking those weapon power items just for the early game and then switching everything over to Crystal does mean that it's the primary damage from Cole is going to be on that big red button usage, as that is the has been maxed out, of course. That along with the Rocket Leap being the 2 crystal scaling abilities, as they throw a minion candy onto the gold miner, wanting to protect that investment as it does get closer to a payout, and now an infusion for Cull as well. And GankStars, they may look for a fight soon because they definitely have the advantage, and here we go.
And again, they just try to jump everything on top of Mish. That big red button was amazing. They get the kill on Castro. She got absolutely destroyed in that engage. Cole the Meek making these things happen. There goes, this is now Alliance coming back into this 2 for 2. And all that praise for Cole the Meek. I really got to stop caster cursing these guys. But under the turret, I mean, they really wanted that kill. Look at Gabe. He's even going to go back for it. If they can get this turret, then they will come out ahead. And Gabe Bizzle just able to merciless pursuit to safety. No problem. 8 kills, 4. They might have traded 2 for 2. But, geez, that big red button burst on top of the Kestrel was insane.
Yeah, it was it wasn't the best of positionings for the big red button because it did do a lot of burst up front, but didn't get any extended damage down onto the team. Everyone was able to leave the area of it pretty quickly, but still, they, for a fight that they took underneath the opponent's turret, they came out 2 for 2 and got the turret in the end. That is a big advantage for GankStars as they get the immense gold payout, the full payout from the gold mine, followed very quickly by the tiny gold payout from the Kraken spawning, and now we're looking at almost a 4,000 gold lead for GankStars Sirius as they, 15 minutes in is the time when games are at risk of ending from an ace, as now we're going to see them going in once more.
Iraqi Zoro just sprinting all the way through. Big red button actually gets canceled. We had the reflex blocks up as well, just trying to absorb as much as we could. Mish is out of the fight because he is just not going to be very healthy on this one. They did lose out I Love Joseph, and now with this kind of pressure, I don't think we're going to see a Kraken yet. You can see Cole the Meek. He's looking for those backs. He's going to take this minion mine, picks it up, very quickly here. Will this actually be a rotation for the Kraken? They're not going to have a lot of time before I Love Joseph comes up, and he has the one-shot, one-kill.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be smart for them to take the Kraken right now. Just recall back to lane, maybe, or recall back to base, get your health and your energy fully restored, and then possibly look for another fight. They've been winning each fight for the most part. So GankStars, they're the ones in control. This is their game to win, which of course means their series to win, as they are on the verge of a 3-0 victory, getting their revenge on this Alliance squad from the VIPL. But they are just going to continue farming for now and picking up some items. We have the infusions being picked up, and now the Kraken is actually getting started. While they have vision of Alliance, they know that they aren't coming down to contest this. Kraken's not going down terribly quickly, but it's going down quickly enough.
Yeah, it's CP Cole the Meek. I mean, it's not exactly the biggest in terms of the sustain, but it is going to just seal the deal here. Alliance, now immediately they all back off. Depending on how much cash they got, they should be picking up as many infusions as they can. Joseph already holding onto one. And, well, there's the second and a whole bunch more to be added to that pile. At the same time, you're very likely to see Cole the Meek and crew activate theirs. You can already see two of them sitting there with the doubles. Not entirely too sure if Gabe Vizzle's going to join the club, but with this Kraken, I mean, we are threatening endgame at this point, Bacon.
Yeah, absolutely. One fight with the Kraken up, if they get an ace, will spell the end of the game. And so GankStars, they're going to push up with this Kraken, focus some damage onto the turret, and we'll see. We know that they aren't afraid of fighting under the turret, and there they go.
Yeah, could look for a big engage, but they're just going to let the Sky just kind of do her thing. That's a pull-in on top of Araki Zero. He doesn't get hit. Well, it kind of walks right back into it. Big stun coming out from that. And the big red button not really going to connect there either. Came out way too late. Alliance, once more, has a really good experience rebuffing up against these big death pushes. And the Kraken gets one turret for their trouble. Now, it's not an ace for Alliance, but it is a lot of breathing room. You can see Gabe Vizzo, he's going to go and take out the backs, but this is our time to perhaps get a turret or two, use the big hit points there of Flash X to make this happen.
Yeah, very surprising fight for Alliance to be able to come out on top so heavily, as well as then grab the Kraken. Now they're working on these turrets. The death from above is going to absolutely melt that. Gabe Vizzle cannot defend it. But this is going to be Alliance backing off because they know that the respawns have come through for the rest of GankStars. They're trying to chase this down. They want to get a fight, but Cole the Meek is so far behind. I'm not sure if this is actually the best of ideas.
Well, that's going to be another death from above. We'll catch the stun there on top of Gabe, and we're not giving up here on top of Mish. I think it is going to happen. Blackfeather really showing some good power here into the late. Now Flash X is going to be the target. He is big, and he has a lot of health, but they're really starting to chip it down. The big red button will seal the deal. That is going to be a turret, very likely. Look at those crits come out. Is GankStars Sirius going for the win?
They very well could be. They have I Love Joseph to defend, Alliance does, and there are no minions, so these turrets are going to go down a little bit slower, but the damage just isn't there from I Love Joseph right now, as they do get one turret and decide to back out. Mish was going to be up in just a few seconds, but back and forth they go here and after the 15-minute mark, as it looked like it was going to be GankStars taking this one handily, and then Alliance with a really big fight, but the chase down from GankStars answering the aggression so beautifully, as they have the lead by still sitting at a 2,000 gold, 5 kills, but now the double infusions are starting to come out.
Yeah, there was a lot of infusions picked up right there on the back of that fight, and 11-6, as you said, it's really not... This entire series, we haven't, I don't think, seen a gold swing larger than 5k between these teams. Really top-notch kind of stuff coming out of these guys. Both of them world champions at one point or another, and it really is showing in their gameplay. The games are not really, huge margins of difference. They are very well suited to each other, but so far GankStars has edged out almost every single time.
Yeah, it's been close, but GankStars just seem to have the upper hand as now another fight breaks out, and immediately Kestrel is taken out. Cole the Meek going very low, but not low enough as the big red button starts melting through Flash X. That's going to be a second kill. Flash X is all but down as well. There's the ace. That will be game. That will be set. That will be match. GankStars Sirius undefeated through the entire VGL qualifier, taking home first place here. What a dominant run these guys have in their last hurrah, as Cole the Meek will be leaving the team, but he goes out on top with the victory. Congratulations.
So